What's up guys, how's it going? If you ever wondered what games were coming out this current week, you've come to the right spot. I'm AviddGeek and welcome to Release Tuesday. So first up, we have Metal Gear Solid 5 Ground Zeroes that's coming out for the Xbox 360, the PlayStation 3, Xbox One, and PlayStation 4 on March 18th. So Kojima is at it again. He's released a new Metal Gear Solid. This is actually kind of part one of a two-part series. So this part one takes place before Peace Walker. It's kind of more of a prequel to some of the games. So the story is, you as Big Boss Snake, you're going to go save your comrades from these like camps and stuff. So you have Pats who went out and got captured, and then you have, I believe it's Chico, I think that's his name, that goes out and then tries to save Pats, but he ends up being captured himself. So now you are called in to go ahead and get them both out and free them. So as I mentioned, this is a part one, kind of a two-part series. So Kojima wants to use this game, and it's kind of known to be a short game. I'm hearing it's probably about 3 to 4 hours, maybe 5 hours long, depending on how you play. It's a lot different than how it was previously. So like I said, this is a two-part series. So what Kojima is trying to do is introduce a lot of the new mechanics, a lot of the new things he wants to put into the game in this part one to get you ready for part two, which is Phantom Pain. So now we have open world. We kind of have missions that you can kind of approach it any way you want to. I guess in a stealth way, if a non-stealth way, you can do from multiple different paths, use different vehicles. It'll be very interesting to see a Metal Gear Solid in a kind of open world environment. It looks really cool, the graphics look amazing. So we'll see if it's worth it or not, but that's coming out Tuesday. Next up, we have Final Fantasy X and X-2 HD Remastered, which is coming out for the PlayStation 3 and the PlayStation Vita on March 18th. So Final Fantasy X is an amazing game. I love that game. It was one of their first games going into 3D. It was released back on the PlayStation 2 in 2001. So now they've kind of cleaned it up, added a little bit more polish on the graphics, remixed the music from the original soundtrack, and put on this new collector's disc edition with 10 and 10 Part 2. The focus on the characters is a little bit different. In 10, you're playing Titus, this guy who's a blitzball player. So it's kind of like a sports jockey kind of guy, and he kind of learns a little bit about his father. I don't want to spoil the whole story, but you learn a lot of different things and he kind of grows up in that game. Where 10-2, you're playing more of the female role character, which was in 10, and her name is Yuna. So it's mostly focused around her and this group of friends that she has. To be able to change outfits, a lot of stuff you've seen probably now in the new Final Fantasy with Lightning, as far as changing outfits and changing kind of your character class. So I may pick up this remastered edition of Final Fantasy X and X-2, only because I had a lot of good memories with it. I enjoyed playing it. I remember having a lot of fun with it. The characters were really developed well. They were funny. It was just a fun time playing those games. So I may go back to it. Plus I can't find X-2 in my collection from the PlayStation 2 games. I don't know what happened to it. So Borderlands 2 is coming out on the PlayStation Vita on March 18th. It was a game that came out a couple years back for the PlayStation 3 and the Xbox 360, and also the PC, but now it's being released for the Vita. So it's also being released as a bundle for the new Vita that's coming out, kind of the, I forget the model number, but it's like the 2000 model. So the new update to the original PlayStation Vita. So you can either get it as a bundle with the system itself, or you can get it as the game by itself if you already own a Vita. So Deus Ex The Fall is coming out on PC on the 18th. So originally this was a mobile game that came out in 2013, so it's now being released for the PC. So we also have Luftrausers, I believe that's how you say it, it's the name down here below. But it's being released for the PC, the PlayStation Vita, and the PlayStation 3. So this game is pretty much a really simple game. You're a plane that's shooting down other planes. Kind of reminds me a lot of the Atari kind of style of gameplay, where it's just, for example, like Geometry Wars. Not the new released one, but the old one. Reminds me kind of that's how it plays, a little floaty, but it's just you kind of spinning around shooting the other planes in the sky. And that's pretty much it. So it reminds me a lot of that. Even some of the sound effects remind me of the Atari sounds. Steamworld Dig is coming out for the PlayStation 4 and PlayStation Vita on March 18th. So this game has already come out before. It's come out on the 3DS, and it's an interesting looking game. It has some aspects of Terraria where you're digging through the ground pretty much and finding treasure, fighting enemies, and getting to your objective. You can also come back to the surface, pretty much sell what you find to earn some more credits or more money and buy, I'm assuming, upgrades. And it has an interesting feature with the fact that I hear the game's short. The interesting part is all the levels are randomized. So they're put together in a random environment. So it's, in my mind, it's like Minecraft, right? Where you start a new level or start a new world and everything is just random. So nothing is really the same. You're always gonna have a different level. So there's a lot of replayability for this game. So next we have Yaiba, Ninja Gaiden Z, coming out for the Xbox 360 on the 21st. I know what you're thinking. You're probably thinking, what? Where did this game come from? I'm thinking the same thing. I didn't hear much about Ninja Gaiden Z. Ninja Gaiden itself is a beloved franchise. If you're not familiar with it, it's a third-person kind of actions hack and slash game. This game looks nothing like those games. It looks completely different. There's still that hack and slash element, but it's more visual, I guess. There's a lot more colors, there's a lot more silliness going on here, a little bit kind of like Deadpool, I guess, to it. Normally you would play Ryo Hayabusa, but this time you're playing actually Yaiba Kamikaze. So you're actually playing even a different ninja. Looks a lot of fun, but don't expect what you've normally gotten from Ninja Gaiden in the past in this game. There are some changes in here you may or may not like. So last of all, we have inFamous Second Son coming out for the PlayStation 4 on March 21st. So inFamous was a great series back on the PlayStation 2, so now they've brought it back. And this time it's a little bit different. In Second Son, you are playing a different character. Second Son takes place 7 years after inFamous 2, so spoiler warnings here, spoilers. Chromograph, the character you played in inFamous 1 and 2, actually dies at the end of inFamous 2. And it's taking place after the good ending because there's like this morality system where you can either be a good guy or a bad guy, but it takes place after the good ending. So after he activates the ray field inhibitor, which is supposed to remove the powers from all the conduits. Conduits, you can look at it kind of pretty much as people with superpowers. So in Second Son, you play Dawson Rowe. Dawson Rowe is a new character. He is a conduit. He's one of the guys that still has superpowers. So he finds out he has these powers, he finds out he's able actually to draw powers from other different conduits, so he can absorb different things, like now he has smoke powers and neon powers and so on. So what's also different is you're in a different setting, you're in a different kind of area. In inFamous 1, you were in New York, kind of a New York setting, it wasn't called New York, and then you have inFamous 2, you were in a New Orleans setting. In inFamous Second Son, you are now in Seattle, a real world kind of environment, so you'll kind of see all kinds of stuff from Seattle in there, kind of run around the town and shoot stuff and cause problems. So that's it for this week's Release Tuesday. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. If you have any questions or if you want to find out anything about these games at all, any more information, I'll have a link down below for you guys on all the games we've talked about today. So thanks again for watching, guys, and I will talk to you guys next time. Peace out.